Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Wednesday, the 17th of September, 2025. Starting with the synoptic picture, moving on from yesterday lunchtime, you can see we had some quite pleasant weather actually yesterday. Soarable in places and generally quite a nice day based on the pattern of weather we've been having recently. Overnight, got a bit more of a low pressure system developing here into the Atlantic. So a bit of frontal activity and approaching warm front as of yesterday evening with a small warm sector. By midnight, that had moved fairly quickly and was now, beg your pardon, but throughout the night by midday, today that will have moved fairly quickly with that warm front now over the sort of east coast of the UK, with the mainland of the southern part of England in the warm sector. And that's what's bringing some fairly cloudy and not very pleasant conditions we're having today. And we've also got this approaching cold front here, which is going to bring a bit of gusty winds and possibly some showers later on today. Looking into the rest of the week, quite messy in terms of what's out to the west and what's coming in, with a lot more frontal activity to come. But hopefully, we'll see an improvement in that as the week continues. Sat pick this morning, you can see a lot of cloud, very, very dense cloud across all of the UK. Interestingly, a little bit of almost sort of wave structure down in the West Country there, with quite a strong southwesterly wind and some fairly stable air mass that we're in at the moment in this warm sector. So there's potential for a little bit of wave in places today, maybe even in Wales. Although it's quite a messy looking cloud picture there. Not much going on in the north of Scotland, but certainly not too bad down in our area here. Rain radar, you can see that's why it's not looking particularly nice in Wales. Lots of rain in the sort of middle of the UK there, and more bands up towards the north of Scotland, although we seem to be more or less in the clear where we are in the south. Looking at the Met Office prediction, see they've observed all of that rain that we saw on the radar. We'll run that through. You can see southern part of the UK staying mostly dry, with possibly there's a bit of rain this afternoon and into the evening. Generally maintaining similar conditions all throughout today, changing possibly just slightly as that cold front arrives. Still got a TAF from Odium, or a valid observation. Farnborough also struggling to be updated there, but in general, we can expect a very low cloud base for a lot of certainly the initial part of the day. Blustery southwesterly winds on the ground and possibly some showers later on as well. Looking at the spot winds then at height to the south, 220 and 240 at 35 knots, 1,000 down to 2,000 feet, and to the north, 230, 240, 25 and 35 knots, and it's increasing with height. 5,000 feet, we can expect 40 knots on a west southwesterly heading. So fairly blustery inland as well as in the channel. I think we can expect that to be more or less the same on the ground as well. The topic of surface wind, looking here on windy, strong southwesterly breeze, more or less straight down runway 23. So if we do operate at all, it would be from runway 23 today. And looking at the local Met Office forecast, giving us wind speeds of 16, 17 knots southwesterly, gusting in excess of 30 throughout the majority of the day. Occasional light shower later in the afternoon with a bit of drizzle as that front approaches, and quite high humidity, as you can probably expect. GFS, no warmer than sort of 17 degrees locally for us today, with a dew point of around 15. So not a great deal of separation there for cloud base. So this is the webcam looking to the west at the moment on the south side. You can see southwesterly breeze there indicated by the windsock. but very low cloud, very sort of clagged in out to the west. So certainly not something we can fly in at the moment. So we'll monitor, see if we get any improvement there. Temperature wise, we're up now at 13.9 with a dew point of 12.1. Sky sight, not a great deal of soaring potential with this showing a little bit more showery activity than the Met Office was expecting. So we'll have to wait and see which turns out to be true. If you And on the right-hand side of the screen here, we've got the point forecast. So we can see low cloud with showers throughout today's brief period of respite between sort of 11 and 1 o'clock, where we might get a little bit of heating on the ground, but still no more than about 1,200 feet above the airfield. And expecting the thermal top winds, if that's relevant at all, to be about 40 knots, which is more or less in line with the 214. So cloud, obviously, we've got quite a bit of low cloud at the moment, as we saw there. This is the cloud distribution on top meteo from 9 o'clock local. And you can see in our area, we've got below 1,000 foot cloud here. If we run this through hour by hour, see it does start to break up a little bit more so to the north, and the low cloud being quite persistent in our area. Although by about 1 o'clock, we start to see a little bit more of a thicker auto queue pushing away the lower level stuff. So there could potentially, depending on the wind, be a gap there, depending on what the rain does, but then the low cloud coming back in late afternoon and into the early evening. No times based on that forecast. It's very much a local flying day, if anything at all. So there's nothing really of concern local to us. Obviously, a fair bit of restricted airspace in for the VIP visits going on at the moment, but nothing that would be prohibitive to us. Okay, we'll move on now to the local airfield briefing. Starting with glider bookings, 2 K21s for 5-day courses, 3 K21s on booked instruction, and 1 K13 for the casual list. Single seats, plenty of availability, as you can probably imagine, and there are 2 on the casual list. So if you get an instructor around that maybe fancy doing with ground training or flying later on, that would be much appreciated. The simulator, we'll discuss its availability in person. It should be available for most of the day, but there are a few bookings on it at variable times. Mind you, I think maybe just 1 or 2 spaces left in the Airborne Expedition week 3, so do get in before they go. They are starting to fill up now. And we have nothing to report from 2XL. In summary, the low pressure is dominant, bringing a warm sector condition initially, with an approaching cold front afterwards, leading to some light showers and gusty winds. Any operation will be on runway 23 with cables on the grass to the east, and a reminder for instructors, do not brief at the front of the queue, please. As always, do not land or taxi across the disused runway shown in red, and there's our airfield setup with the winch and the cables on the east side of runway 23. Air towing on the western side of the runway, landing well into the field. That's all from me today. I'll see you in the clubhouse throughout today, and hopefully we can get some flying in. And if not, use today for some ground training. Thank you very much.